Good evening, America, and of course, good morning in the Philippines. And I don't know, I got the bag of coming up with a video vlog for cooking. I did my first, I guess that was 2 weeks ago, and this time I had another menu that I discovered, and actually this is my first time to work on it. Of course, as I've said, you can just easily Google, no, not Google, but use the YouTube and just type in whatever food that you would like to cook, and there you are. You're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 ways of cooking a particular menu or food that you would like to have. So this time, today is Friday here, and what I decided to cook lengua. Lengua, of course, the baka. And most of us are very familiar with the lengua, and I love to eat the lengua. Although some perhaps they feel it's a good to eat the lengua just thinking of the tongue of the beef. So anyway, so here we are. I'm at home. I just came from the office, of course, an hour ago. But what I did, I already worked on the lengua because it's not easy to cook a lengua. To make it soft, there's a trick for that. There's a technique. And so I bought the lengua in Walmart. And the good with the lengua here in the United States is that it's already cleaned. And so basically what you do is just a simple boiling 10 to 15 minutes. That's the first one that you're going to do. And of course, you're going to remove the dirt or the scum. That's what they normally say. And so after removing the scum, immediately, you throw the boiled water, and what you do, you immediately strain it with the cold water, and that's where the long process will start. And that's the key to the lengua. And so it took me around 3 to 4 hours, although if you would like to, if you want it quick, you can do it using the pressure cooker. But I'm old-fashioned. I would like to do it, slowly, even it will take me 2 or 3 or 4 hours. That's fine with me. So the kind of lengua that I boiled, it took me 3 to 4 hours. And so when you boil the lengua, that is the key to the final, lengua that you're going to partake or to eat. Because what you do, because the broth or the water of the 3 to 4 hours that you're going to soften the lengua, because as you know, it's so hard. It's a very hard, the tongue is so very hard, so that's why you have to boil it. So what you do, you will just put, of course, water. That's number one, when you boil it to 3 to 4 hours. And then you're going to put on, garlic cloves, at least 4 pieces. You're going to crush it, okay? And then, of course, bay leaves, around 2 pieces of bay leaves. And of course, you're going to come up with a peppercorn, 1 teaspoon of peppercorn, and then 1 tablespoon of salt. So you leave that to 3 to 4 hours. Why did I say this is the key? Number one, it will soften the lengua. But of course, from time to time, it depends on, the heat that you're going to generate. But in my case, I just did more or less medium, okay, fire. But if you're going to go, the maximum, I guess it will just only take you around, 2.5 hours. But what I did the medium, so it took me around 3 to 4 hours. So you boil it, and number two, I said the key is because the broth of what you boiled in the second phase of boiling the lengua is that you're going to get 2 cups of that broth. That's very important because that is what you're going to use as your sauce, the cream of mushroom sauce. So that's very important. And after you are done with the second boil, 3 to 4 hours, what you do, of course, you keep 2 cups of the broth, and then you have to refrigerate the lengua for about an hour or so. So when it cools down, what would happen is you're going to peel off the lengua. Peel off the lengua, and after you're done peeling off the lengua, okay, you can use a peeler, you can use your hands, and after that, you're going to finely chop it, say half an inch of the lengua, doing it diagonal. And so that's what I did. And so when you're done with that, then you're going to do the preparations for the sauce now, the creamy sauce, which normally, you experience when you ate lengua perhaps in the past. So how do you do the sauce? The key for the lengua is the sauce. And so the sauce, of course, you're going to buy 1 cup of cream of mushroom soup. and then you're going now to mix the 2 cups of the broth, okay, excess of the second boil that you did on the lengua. And then you're going to stir it properly, mix it, and then include, say, 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And so when you're done with that, the next step is, of course, you're going to chop onions, okay? 1 chopped onions, okay? And by the way, in the second boil, by the way, I forgot to mention that you have to include also onions quarter size, okay? And so in the second set, when you do the sauce, okay, so you chop the onions, dice it, and then after you're doing that, you're going to use a butter, say 1 tablespoon of butter, and then you're going to stir the onions until it's a little bit brownish. So when you're done, remove it, and then what you're going to do also, you're going to also masave, the butter mushroom, but you slice it very well, at least 8 pounds of that. So you also chop the mushroom. So when you chop the mushroom, you also saute it without any oil for that matter, make it a little brownish. So when you're done, remove it again. So when you're done with that, so the next step is you're going to pour now the cream of mushroom soup, which you have stirred with, the all-purpose flour. So when you put that, okay, and then you now include, the onions that you initially, saute, and then you put on the belly button mushroom, and then finally, okay, you're going to put the lengua now, which has been sliced already. And so this is the final cooking, because I'm just by myself. I cannot do a video with someone else and then show you how to cook. So this is now the lengua, okay? And so if you can see, I'm stirring it, okay? Of course, I did not bought a lengua that is so huge, so enough for me, and so this is where it is. So I'm going to stir it, and then I'm going to load the fire, okay? I'm going to load the fire because in about, I would say in about 2 or 3 minutes, and I am done. And so as they say, kumatabla sila, the shortest way to a man's heart, okay, to a man's heart, is through the stomach, okay, through the man's stomach. But I would also say, equally so, the shortest way to a woman's heart is also through the stomach, okay? And a real gentleman is a person who knows how to cook. By the way, this is not my first time to cook because I have 8 children and all of them are already adults. The youngest is 25 years old and the eldest is already 36 years old. They already left. The youngest, Joko, they already left, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago. And in my earlier vlog, as I've said, I just leave myself alone here. And so I have all the time to think of what to cook. But during those days then where they were with me, and we were still then in Beaumont, I cook for them, the 8 of them. Okay? So just to give you a background that this is not something alien or foreign to me. But nonetheless, okay, even though I'm an empty nester, they're out here, but I find joy cooking. Okay? And so before I'm going to turn off, the lengua, so I'm going to tour you the house because in my first vlog, I showed you the kitchen and I don't have to, revisit that again, including the laundry area. And by the way, there are a lot of things they still have to dishwash. Okay, so a lot of things here. And after, I'm done with the lengua, and I guess I have to turn it off now because, it's already been about 2 or 5 minutes already. Turn it off. So I have a lot of things to work on and clean. And so here at home, and this is, my living room. Okay, and so I miss my children because, in the past, when my twins, when they were with me, including the next one, Yan, when they were with me, I guess 8 years ago. And so this was a happy place. But I'm still happy because there are a lot of things that I can do here. So this is the formal dining room that I have. And if you notice, I did this my own interior decoration. Here, I guess I posted this 4 or 5 years ago. And so all of these are my own interior decoration that I did here. Because, I love to watch, there is this channel, in this channel, channel 111, Fixer Upper. And I just love to watch their show, and that's where I learned the rudiments of, of interior decoration. And so this is the living room. And every time we have an event, social events, because there are times my kids are available, all of them simultaneously. So this is where we hang out. Okay, so and not only that, if I'm going to open this, the blinds that we have here, okay, it goes to the patio. But today is winter, okay. It's been winter since this December, so it's always closed because there's nothing out there. It's very, very cold. So I just want to show you also that I have my picture here. Okay, it's something permanent. This was given to me by a special someone, and then not only that, I also have this thing given to me by my daughter. That's my late father. Okay, and that's my late father as well here. And these are my kids, and this is my eldest son. This is my granddaughter. And so these are the pictures, of course. Definitely my mom is here. Okay, this is our family picture way back in Zamboanga. And this was taken when we were in Upper Calarian, I guess. I was second year in college, I guess. Yeah. And that's Isa, my dad, my late father, my late mom, and that's Bimbo. That's our old house in Upper Calarian. But, we don't have that house anymore. But nonetheless, so at least you have seen the living room that I have here. And so, today is Friday, Saturday tomorrow. Normally, as I said, if I certified on body, I just stayed at home. But this time around, it's entirely different because I'll have to do a lot of groceries because starting Sunday evening, it will now be the start of Ramadan, which all Muslims around the world, they look forward to. And, with Allah's blessing, okay, Alhamdulillah, for all the years I've observed, they call it timpus in our dialect. 30 days, I just, fast. Okay, God or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only asks us, okay, once a year, 30 days. And then the rest of the time, although we don't forget every day, every minute, or every hour about God, our God, but the 30 days must be dedicated and devoted to God. And of course, it's also incidentally the start of the Lenten season for my brother Christians. And we just have to observe it because nowadays in this world, a lot of our friends perhaps, and this world that we live in, a lot of them, they have went astray. They have no more moral compass. It's all about material things. It's all about vanity, losing sight of each person's spirituality, our relationship to God, because as we said, we are only temporary, in this world. So it's very important for that. And not only that, it's not to brag. Every Friday, in today's Friday, I was at the mosque, Islamic Thought Center Valley here in Lancaster. It's just around 15 to 20 minutes from my office. So every Friday, Jumat, I go to the mosque. And so I'm just sharing you, in life, that's how we're going to conduct ourselves. To me, it's not only about the food. I also want to share with you, my thoughts, my knowledge, my wisdom. That's very important in life. And the cooking that I shared with you, hopefully, next weekend, or I'm going to come again with another vlog. I'll have to think of what kind of food that I'm going to cook, and I'm going to share it with you. And so, as I've said, the shortest way to a man's heart is through the stomach, but equally so, the shortest way to a woman's heart is through the stomach. And a real gentleman, a real man knows how to cook. Okay, not necessarily an expert in that regard. I'm no expert. I'm not bragging because there are a lot of things that I have to learn. But since since a friend left, at least I have all the time now to cook, and so sharing them with you perhaps would help. So this is again back to my kitchen, and I'm done with my lengua. Okay. And I know it's weekend in the Philippines, in Zamboanga City, because most of my followers are from that place, Zamboanga, Basilan, or even a lot of my Muslim, friends and relatives. And so this is dedicated to you, and I just miss you all. And hopefully someday, somehow, in God's appointed time, I'll be home, and it might be soon, because as I've said, and even my children knows that there is no place like home. Of course, they have their own respective family here, but in my case, I'll be home, and there are a lot of things that I can do in our place. And one of them, of course, is to serve God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It could be through the Tugong Family Trust Foundation. and engage in political and social advocacy. And I know there are a lot of things that has been going on in our place, especially in Zamboanga City, where I am a resident, and it's really totally bad. It has gone down to the dogs. It went to the dogs. It is as if there is no government that exists in that place. I don't know what the little boy is doing and the big brother is doing, but we all know that they are engaged in massive corruption. And the infrastructure that we have, it's so worst. Would you imagine every day the traffic that we have? It takes you 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't know if they are blind, deaf, or dumb. And not only that, every time it rains, it floods. And not only that, the filth, the garbage, the smoke pollution, and not only that, the intermittent blackouts and the water also rationing. I really do not know if these elected officials are, mindful. Do they really know what is their mandate to deliver the public, the basic services, okay, public utility services? I really do not know. But all I know, they're engaged in massive corruption. And the election is forthcoming, and hopefully, all of our electorates will wake up, use their senses, and choose the right candidate for the position. And not only that, there are also politicians, they ran already twice or thrice, they already lost in the election. Guys, okay, there is more to life. Go get a life. Why would you run again? Because basically I know you missed the job. But you're already given the chances. You've been in the position for, 20 years, 2 decades, 25 years? You're already given the opportunity. So please stop. Give others the chance. And of course, we have a set of the counselors that we have. Oh, my friends, I say, if I see on live, on TV, how you perform, how you talk, I mean, what is that? It's not befitting. That's why I really missed you in the time of the generation of my late father, the 60s, the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the early 20s, We have good calibers of politicians, but nowadays, our elected leaders, some of them are good, but the rest, most of them, you are no good. So I really do not know, and I already went beyond the 15 minutes. I talk about the food, I talk about my life, I shared wisdom and experiences, but in life I also have to share my views and my ideas, okay? And so as I've said, anyway, this is just a blog that I post in the Facebook. But when I come home to Zamboanga, which will be my residence, and I'm actually from Zamboanga, born, raised, and grew up in Zamboanga City, studied in Ateneo, in State College, and Animus Libertandi, Animus Manendi is Zamboanga City. So my friends, I'll be home and I will be a continuous critic of what is happening in our place. But of course, I'm also going to do a food review. So there are restaurants that I will go to, a new restaurant, and I'm going to make my own review. If it's bad, I will tell it's bad. Now, in my case, I'm not going to give a review of my food. I mean, that would be biased, okay? And so we'll see, and hopefully there are some friends that will be here that could, give a verdict to my cooking, but that's how it is. So I'll just, do it on my own, and so have a blessed weekend to all of you. I love you so much. I miss you, all of you in Zamboanga City, and my friends in the different provinces and cities of our country in the Philippines. There is no place like home. Regardless, okay, our national identity, all my children, my 8 children, okay, we are still anchored and tethered to our country. And we know our national identity, the tribe that we belong to. We are very proud of our customs, culture, tradition. As a Sama, as a Yakan, as a Tauso, as a Chabacano, we are very proud. And, good enough that, most of them or all of them still, understand, the dialect, but of course they're not fluent in speaking the dialect, but that is good enough, okay? But in my case, of course, you know me, I'm a linguist more or less. So thank you very much, and hopefully you enjoy my blog. At least it covered all the facets of who I am, okay? Not only in cooking, I also show you that I'm an interior decorator, and the living room that I have, okay, I'm very proud. And of course, I also shared with you my wisdom, my knowledge, spiritual knowledge, which is very important. And finally, at least I've shared with you my thoughts on the political situation that we have in our place in Zamboanga City. I remember last time, and this will be the end. So when I had a reunion with my high school classmates, batch 79 in Western Mindoro State University in Manila, and they said, Joey, yala kami dito yung dito yung artikulo regarding the little boy, the big brother, the Holy Trinity. And so we were so happy that at least you were able to voice out the sentiments of the people. And they said, ¿por qué man niya para to? And they were thinking, perhaps, the Holy Trinity was able to buy you. I said, what? The tugongs from my late father and mother, we cannot be both. Okay? It's just that I don't have the time. But at least, when I went home last December, in my interview, you have seen me. No one can stop me. No one can bribe me. Okay? And I don't fear anyone, whoever you are. And I will really express my thoughts coming from my heart. And of course, it is based on facts. It is based on an informed, judgment that I do. I don't just easily say it. So thank you so much, my friends. I love you all. Again, this is Joey Tugong from Lancaster. And enjoy your weekend. I miss you and I love you all. Bye.